Hello and Assalamualaikum to the doctor and my fellow friends. Firstly, I would like to thank you to Encik Muhammad Musin, our lecturer for creative problem solving. Uh, so, uh, before I start our presentation for my group, I would like to introduce my group members. So we from group first, we have 5 person in the group first. Firstly, Amira Shafiqah binti Khairul Anwar, can call Mira, and me, Farahan binti Anwar, can call me Farah. Thirdly, Nur Faniza binti Muhammad Fuad, can call Faniza. Fourthly, Nur Sabrina binti Ahmad, can call Sab. And lastly, Sarfina Patricia binti Mazlan, can call Sar. So, what our topic for our presentation, creative problem solving? Our topic that we have choose is fishbone diagram. So, before I proceed to my part, I would like to tell what uh, will tell from the fishbone diagram. So will give some introduction about fishbone diagram, while Sor and Sabrina will tell about how the technique works or operate, and Mira and Faniza will give the example of application of technique in the real world, and the conclusion will make by Faniza again. So we will going to know about fishbone diagram. Okay, firstly introduction. What is fishbone diagram? Fishbone diagram have many others number. Uh, as we can see in the slide, we have five name of fishbone diagram. Fishbone diagram can also known as Ishikawa diagram, herringbone diagrams, cause and effect diagrams, and Fishikawa diagrams. Okay, firstly in 1920s, fishbone diagram is known as basic concept, first used as the basic concept, as the one of 7 basic tools of quality control. And then in 1960s, it become popularized by Professor Koru Ishikawa. As you can see, the others name of fishbone diagram is Ishikawa diagram, which is the name of the Professor Koru Ishikawa. Okay, who is Professor Koru Ishikawa? Professor Koru Ishikawa is who pioneered quality management process in Kawasaki shipyard, and in the 1960s, when he popularized this fishbone diagram, he in process become one of the founding fathers of modern management. Okay, why fishbone diagram? Known as fishbone diagrams. Why not other name? We can choose many others name in the word. So, why it called fishbone diagram? As we can see, fishbone diagram. We call it fishbone diagram because of the shape similar to the side of fish skeleton. Okay, like the picture I put in the slide. Okay, what is the function of the fishbone diagram? Fishbone diagram is to help to structure the process of identifying possible causes of problem, and it show the potential causes of a specific event. It's very suitable like others name of fishbone diagram, known as cause and effect diagrams, suitable for its why fishbone diagram we use. So one of the company that use fishbone diagram is Mazda Motors. Mazda Motors famously used an Ishikawa diagram, the other's name of Fishbone diagram, in the development the Miata MX-5 sports car. I think that's all from me for part introduction. Then I will pass to the Sor to tell you guys about how the technique works or operate.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Safina Batisha binti Mazlan and my metric number is 190046. And I will be present this slide, fishbone diagram. As the name implies, it looks like a skeleton of a fish. The problem we want to study is symbolized by the head. The causes resemble the skeleton of a fish. The fishbone can be built to as many levels as necessary to determine the underlying problem causes, which means that the construction or the bone of the fish which resemble the cause, you can come up with many factors that needed to determine the main root cause of the problem. There are other names for the fishbone diagram. The first one is cause and effect diagram. The second one is Ishikawa diagram. The third one is herringbone diagram. All these names is a tool for determining the causes of flaws, deviations, or failures inside a process. In other words, it helps in breakdowns of the root causes that may lead to an impact in successive layers, which means it helps to divide the root causes in more efficient way. The next slide is techniques of fishbone diagram. Fishbone diagram is to determine the cause and effect relationship of the problem. The fishbone diagram technique combines brainstorming and mind mapping. Using these techniques can help to see the root of the problem more clearly, where it forces you to think about practically every possible causes of an issue rather than the simply or the most obvious one. It not only assists you in determining the core cause of an issue, but it also identifies the shortfall of the processes and areas that aren't working. There are 3 steps to use in the fishbone diagram. Step 1. Identify the problem. State the problem that wants to investigate in the head of the fishbone diagram. The first thing you need to do when making the fishbone diagram is you need to decide and write down what is your specific problem that you are dealing with, that you are facing with. Determine who is involved in your problem and what is the issue of the problem. And when is your problem happens. Write the problem statement in the box on the right hand side and draw the horizontal line from the left of the box. The problem statement resembles the head of the fish while the horizontal line resembles the spine of the fish. It allows you to expand more about the ideas, the causes of the problem. Step 2. Define the category of the problem. Determining the initial category that causes the current problem where factors may be contributing to the issues. We have to decide how to categorize the causes of the problem. Find the factors that maybe contribute to the problem. This is where the brainstorming techniques involve because we have to think what is the causes of the problem. After we have find the initial category, we have to draw the line of the spine of the fish for each category so that we can see more clearly what is the main factors that are affected by the problem. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. We'll be continue to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Nur Sabrina binti Ahmad and I'm going to explain the step 3 to create the fishbone diagram. In the step 3, we must brainstorm causes for each category. Okay, now brainstorming with relevant people is the most widely accepted method to identify the actual causes. And next, when we go into the brainstorming session or deeper into the brainstorming session, we can identify and actually write the potential causes that can affect under that particular category, or we can call it as the secondary causes. Okay. In this step, brainstorming can be made by a group or a team members based on their prior experiences. And during this brainstorm session, we can ask, why does this happen? And then note the answer. As you can see here, we can write the causes horizontally to the fishbone where they belong, as it branches from the main arrow. And if the causes are related to the various categories, you can write them in the several places. Okay. In this brainstorming session, you know there's gonna be a lot of ideas coming out, and one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to let the fishbone get too out of control, as it just a visual process, but it can actually backfire because as you have one problem that comes up, you might actually have another potential cause to comes up, and you might actually have other branches that can also lead to different reasons. And these branches we can call it as sub causes or tertiary causes. Uh, these causes also will affect the actual causes. And note that the five whys techniques is often used in conjunction with the fishbone diagram, as we keep asking on as we keep asking why until we can get the root cause. For example, you might have some issue with the method, as you can say the cause is X, could be X, and then you realize there are several other reasons that could lead to X, which also can go to the problem. So it can break down and keep bringing more and more granular degree as you go through this problem. As the creation of fishbone diagram is complete when we map the causes and the subcauses that we have identified onto the skeletal structure. But what do we do with the diagram? That is very important. Okay, once the fishbone diagram is completed, we can analyze and we can do some investigation with the team members to identify the root cause of the problem. Because it is not enough that you just had a brainstorming session, and it is not enough that you broke them up into the categories. Now you actually have to go out and test them for validity and see if these are issues that really are going back to causing that problem. So this setup point, which is probably the most important part, I'm going to call it the most important part, because you are actually taking an action and you are using this to actually go out and see what all might be going on. And you may decide that some of these problems are no longer valid, or you may actually go out and see if you hit the nail on the head. But whatever it is, now we have a very systematic way of approaching it based on these different categories and different possible causes that can all lead back to that problem. Okay, so at this stage, also you have already so at this stage, you also have a visual representation of all the causes. So as the solution can be determined and corrective actions can be taken. And next, I want to share with you some tips on how we can create a better fishbone diagram. First, we can consider to draw the fish on a flip chart or large dry erase board, and make sure to leave enough space between the major categories on the diagram so that you can add minor detail causes later. And to help the uh, and uh, and then to help identify the root causes from all the ideas generated, we can consider to have a multi-voting technique, such as having each of the team members to identify the top three root causes. And we can ask them to place three tally marks or sticky dot on the fishbone next to what they think that could be possible or potentially root causes. Okay, after this, we will show you the examples on how we can use the fishbone diagram. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings to everyone. My name is Amira Shafiqah and my student ID is A185171. For my part, I am going to present about the examples of application of the techniques in the real world of a fishbone diagram. As of what my group mate Sorfina have presented just now we all know that the very first step in applying the fishbone diagram to the real world is to identify the problem first. As for our example that we have chose, we have decided that the problem we want to investigate about is the low website traffic, which means that we are going to investigate regarding the possible causes that might have led to a website to be having such low traffic. The next step in applying the techniques of a fishbone diagram to the real world is to define the category of the problem that were chosen earlier. As for our problem that we want to investigate about, which is low website traffic, few categories of problem were already identified. So, the categories identified are content, search engine optimization SEO, backlinking, and lastly, promoting. Moving on to the very last step of applying the techniques of a fishbone diagram to the real world is to brainstorm each category that have been identified. By right, this means that all of the possible and probable causes that might or initially have contributed to the website to be having a low traffic were investigated, and here are the causes under each category of the low website traffic. Okay, the first category is content. And under content, the probable causes are does not have enough contents, which means that the contents are less and very minimal in the website. Next is due to the very poor quality content, which makes audiences to be less interested to visit and view the website. And lastly is inbound marketing methods are not implemented. By right, this means that the website does not have any valuable content to attract audiences or its customers. The next category is SEO, search engine optimization, and the probable causes are the technical SEO issues such as the slow page speed and the multiple version of home pages. Next is the insufficient number of SEO specialists and the best SEO techniques are not applied. For an instance, special website designed for mobile for the website. Moving on to the third category, it is the backlinking. The causes to backlinking are because of the poor quality of links to the website, such as links that is not relevant and does not lead to the website quickly or sufficiently. No great backlinking strategies, such as influencer outreach. And lastly, under backlinking is the website does not have enough links to the website, so it is very limited for the audiences to reach the website. And last but not least is the promoting category. Under the promoting category in the fishbone diagram, it is investigated that the probable and possible causes are no blogs with articles for the target audiences or customers, which makes the website to be less known by the target audiences. Next is the minimal efforts were put in promoting the website to the audiences. For an example, there are no sort of amazing marketing efforts used in promoting the website in the internet, and also poor promoting channels used instead of using a better and great promoting tools. And that is all for my part, examples of the fishbone diagram. And I will pass this presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Nur Faniza binti Muhammad Fuad, and I will explain the other example of application techniques in the real world, that is cause of poor product quality. For the first step, state the problem. From this slide, we have to identify our main problem, that is, the product quality did not match the quality standard. The main purpose is to find the root cause. For second step, we define our categories. For example, the following categories such as worker to capture if there are any worker issue that might cause we can't reach the quality standard, machine to capture if there are any issue on daily operation itself, whether the raw material is sufficient enough, and other problem related that can affect the quality standard. Next step is we brainstorm each category. For example, under worker categories, the possible cause might be the lack of training and experience among the worker. The staff work overtime that can cause stress to them and improper behavior at work, such as bullying and harassment. All of these possible causes might lead to product quality did not match the quality standard. For second category is raw material, and the possible cause is low quality and of raw material that can affect the end product quality. The improper storage that can damage the product and delays in material delivery that can also stop the production of stock. Third categories are the machine such as low maintenance on the machine that can cause machine to break down, improper handling of machinery and tools that can endanger the life of employees, and inefficient usage of operational capacity that can cause waste to the product. All of these possible causes also might lead to product quality did not match the quality standard. Finally, the other problems such as lack of technological advancement. If decrease in the efficiency of a product or a process, there will decrease in output too. No process improvement initiative made by the management to resolve any problem that arise, and non-ideal working condition. An ideal working environment should train and motivate employees to live a life balance. Employees may be willing to work extra hours every day to earn a promotion or salary increment. However, the managers and supervisors have a responsibility of training employees on the benefit of work-life balance. The final step is we evaluate the diagram that created. At this step, we can develop a cause and effect metric that possible are ranked from most important to less important, such as after the brainstorming session, the main reason for our product quality did not match the quality standard. It is because of worker and raw material problem. In conclusion, from the diagram, it can provide a way to find cause of a problem, can be used in an industry, and for many purposes, it can create a shared understanding of problem amongst the members.
These are our references used to make this presentation. And as you can see, our main reference is based on the website. And we hope that with this presentation, you can understand more about the fishbone diagram. Thank you.